Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how to create the rectangle for the base of your keychain. What we need to do is I already have our sketch one open. If you do not have your sketch one open and your screen looks more like mine does right now, remember in our tree, we can move over, hover over sketch one or whatever sketch you're working with, double click. This should reopen that sketch. If you're not in a straight on view, click top on your view orientation cube. Okay. From here, what we want to do is we want to move up to our ribbon, find that corner rectangle tool. Once you have that corner rectangle tool, please click on that once. Corner rectangle works really well because we're trying to start from center point. We're trying to keep this positive. So if we think of this as a Cartesian coordinate plane or a chart, we have our Y, we have our X. So we want to stay in this region in the upper right corner. Okay. If you notice when our cursor is changed to a set of crosshairs, those crosshairs, that icon, we're using that center point. When we hover over different things, we get different icons to the lower right of our cursor. This is a coincident constraint icon. Okay? We have coincident constraints right up here, or different constraint icons. These are all different rules. How are we locking and gluing things together? Okay. Oops. Select my corner rectangle tool again because I accidentally got out of that. If you ever click on something you don't want, you can always hit escape. It exits you out of any tool. I can reselect the tool that I wanted. You can also see that if we hover over them, they give us shortcut keys like G for our corner rectangle tool. If we hover over them, they give us directions on how to use those. Okay. So we can see if I line up with my origin, I get a parallel constraint or a vertical constraint command. To the lower right. If I am horizontal with it, I get a horizontal constraint. If I move directly onto it, it gives me different constraints. If I move here where I'm getting that little T shape with the dot on it, that is a coincident constraint. They are stuck together. They are locked together no matter how far in or out you zoom. Those are stuck together. Okay, this is snapped. We want to snap this together. So I'm going to click once it's snapped. You can see I get two little points down there. Those are coordinates. I'm going to just roughly bring this up to the right. Does not matter how big it is, okay? We don't care. Though there's dimensions on there, those are just for reference. If you're doing other specialty stuff, it'll be a little bit more important, but right now it doesn't matter. Two of our lines are blue, two of our lines are black. We want all of our lines to be black because black represents a fully defined object. It has all of the dimensions. We know where everything is. We know how big it is. We know how it's correlated together. So we need to change that now, okay? If you accidentally made extra rectangles, it's really easy to get rid of them. You can click Control-Z on your keyboard or Command-Z. You could click on an individual line and then you could click delete on your keyboard and it'll get rid of that individual line. If I want to get it back, I just click Control-Z. It undoes what my last command was. If I click Control-Y, it redoes that command. I want that rectangle, so I'm going to leave it there. A couple other ways to delete. I can click and drag from right to left. Anything that I touch will be selected, then I could delete. If I go from left to right, anything inside that box is selected, and then I could delete. Okay, but I want this box. Okay, you can see some of these different constraints around here on this little sketch tab that we have. If I say show constraints, it shows all of the different things locking this together. I don't want those up, they get annoying, so I'm going to hide those. Okay, dimensioning. Okay, big point that I'm getting to. Up on our ribbon, there's a tool called Dimension, shortcut key D. Okay, if I click on this, I can click from one point to the next point, and I can dimension between two objects. I can click on one line to another line. I can dimension between two lines, or I can click an individual line itself. For your keychain, we're going to select the lower horizontal line. I'm going to move my cursor down. I'm going to click a second time. Okay, we're going to set this distance to 2 inches. Enter, 2, enter. Okay, our next what we're going to do is we're going to set the height. So I'm going to click on a vertical. I'm going to use the vertical left line. I'm going to move my cursor out. I'm not moving it far, just a little bit. And then I'm going to set this distance to 7/8. Enter. You can use fractions or decimals. It will change these and adapt them to our decimal system. It does not matter how many decimals you see. It will be exact. This is just showing you what that reference point is. In our next video, I will demonstrate how to extrude this and make it from a 2-dimensional to a 3-dimensional object.